The 2022 Gridiron West Bowl is proudly brought to you by AS Design and Print, Trade Skills Australia, Front Row Screens, your local streaming superheroes, and CD Dog, Scrap Metal Recyclers.
It's a hot time in the old town on this Saturday night as we begin what is the second leg of the 2022 Gridiron West Bowl Day. And the second leg sees the talented ladies do battle from the West Coast Wolverines and the Rockingham Vipers. It's a pleasure to have your company here at E&D Litis Stadium here in Leederville, north of the river, for what is going to be another electric showdown. If you missed it earlier, in our other game, the juniors saw the Claremont Jets take the title 20-12 against the Curtin Saints. Now we have leg two of what is a marvellous triple header of Gridiron West action. My name is Paul Persick, and it's a great pleasure to have your company from the Front Row Screens commentary box for what is going to be a massive, massive game. Of course, the Vipers, they were the best side in the competition during the regular season. They finished on top with only one loss and, of course, convincingly got through after a good semi-final win. The Wolverines, they lost a few more as some of the players waved to our broadcast cameras. They finished third on the ladder and, of course, had a big shock win over the second-placed Perth Broncos in the semis to make their way through to the grand final for the first time. In fact, they hadn't played in the Final Four since their first season in 2017, so it makes for a very significant day for the West Coast Wolverines. And the Rockingham Vipers, they have got co-captains in their fourth and fifth seasons respectively. Both have state sport backgrounds, so experience is going to be the key at both ends for the Vipers and, of course, the West Coast Wolverines, including a family combination that we'll get into after the break. But here today at E&D Litis Stadium, it is another hot night here in Perth. There's a breeze blowing across the ground, but it should make for a marvellous night, not only with the Women's West Bowl, but the Men's West Bowl coming up a little later on. We're going to take our first break, but when we do come back, we have the kickoff and all the action from the Women's West Bowl for the 2021-22 Gridiron West season. It sees the Rockingham Vipers take on the West Coast Wolverines.
At CD Dodd, we recycle metal. So we recycled some 90s metal musicians to create our new jingle. cddodd.com.au.
Litis Stadium is the place. Saturday, 26th of February is the day, and the event, well, it's the Gridiron West Bowl for 2021-22. We welcome you back to Leederville, E&D Litis Stadium. Hopefully we'll get a good crowd for the women's and the men's games. The men's, of course, taking place at about 7 o'clock. It's a great pleasure to have your company here on Front Row Screen Sport, live on Facebook and YouTube. Front Row Screen Sport, where for you in 2022 in the clash between first versus third on the ladder. It'll be the third time in almost 2 months that the Vipers and the Wolverines have done battle. Their round 15 clash was the last time they met, the last round of the preliminary games, and it was the Vipers victorious 12-6. It was a real defensive tussle, including as well round one, where it was only 8-0 in favour of the Vipers. So expect this one to be another hard defensive tussle between two very good sides. A couple of key players to look out for. First off, for the Wolverines, of course, Shane Carney at fullback. This is her first year with the Wolverines. She's got a rugby background like many of the players at the Wolverines. Of course, they've got rugby league and rugby union backgrounds, but also a family combination, granddaughter and grandmother. Of course, the Jones family I'm talking about. Oakley Jones starting at wide receiver and Dixie Jones on defensive tackle. Quite the family combination to watch out for. And also the Rockingham Vipers, they have got plenty of players originally from across the ditch, show a nice New Zealand flavour to the Vipers side. Plenty of them in rugby league, Tongan representative sides, New Zealand sides, and also Tuula Anesi, number 9, a rookie, originally from the Isle of Samoa, originally as well a volleyball representative. So great side being represented by diverse sporting backgrounds and nationality backgrounds as well. Xanth Gray at centre for number 17 for the Vipers. She'll also be starting out as quarterback. This is her first season as quarterback, and she's played very well. She got herself a spot in the state league representative side during the season, and so experience in those fronts will be the key. The Wolverines, meanwhile, in spite of the Vipers having a near perfect record in the 2021-22 season, they only have lost one game for the season. They finished off 11-1 and won their semi-final. And of course, the Wolverines, they had themselves a very good record for the season. 7 wins, 4 losses, and a tie. And they played the Broncos in that semi-final. And like that meeting they had with the Vipers 2 weeks ago, it was a low-scoring tussle, 8-6 in favour of the Wolverines. So they'll be inspired. They want to really restrict the Vipers scoring input. The Wolves, they need to have a big first quarter though, especially with Hamilton and Dixie Jones holding back the Vipers' long passing game, as well as restricting running yards from Gray and Acker to limit their input. If they can hold the Vipers in both those departments, it may take Rockingham off their game and resort to a couple of long passes on the outer side. So it will be very interesting to see how the first quarter pans out and what is going to be a very warm evening for both the teams. They'll be sweating it out in what is going to be very trying conditions for the women's game. Of course, the men's game, they'll play in somewhat cooler conditions when the clock strikes 7 a little later on tonight, so make sure you stay with us for that one. That'll be between the Swan City Titans and also the Curtin Saints. The Saints went down in the junior West Bowl a little earlier, 12-20 to the Claremont Jets. A couple of late touchdowns by the Jets sealed the deal. A couple of families in the crowd, which is great to see. Not only the men, the women, and also the children coming to watch this great game known as Gridiron. Now, if you may notice, if you're watching Gridiron for the first time here in Western Australia, there are no field goal posts. So after each touchdown, every team that scores a touchdown right afterwards has an opportunity to convert for 2 points, for 2 extra points after the touchdown. So if you score 6, you have the opportunity to make it 8, which is also very rewarding indeed. And the referees that have been assigned for this game, they are on the field. It is a tremendous privilege for them to be assigned the deciding match in the women's competition. And no doubt they'll live up to the task as they have done across the season. And you can bet your bottom dollar, despite the pressure that they have been under across the season, referees in Gridiron, for that matter any sport, always coming under scrutiny. But no doubt they are going to do a great job as requested by referee, coaches and officials from Gridiron West. Warm-ups just about to wrap up. The Wolverines are still in their huddle. And plenty of players from rugby backgrounds, roller derby backgrounds and even AFL backgrounds. Amy Dagnaya starting at running back, number 4, one of the co-captains off the side, has scored 8 touchdowns across the season and has contributed to 4 two-point conversions. So she is going to have a really big say in the scoreboard department for the Wolverines. She has had a really good season. Likewise for Shanae Carney, starting at fullback. Carney, number 29, 9 touchdowns, has scored the most in the active women's playing list for the 21-22 season. Also for the Vipers, Anastasia Foliaki, in her 4th season, Tongan representative in rugby league. And of course, Avalu Palele, Also, a rugby league Tongan rep, so great international flavour in the Rockingham Vipers side. And if I was a betting man, I'd have to tip them, but just based on the experience that they have got, and especially with the season form that they have been on, but expect the Wolverines to really put on a big effort tonight. They have really come a long way, the Wolverines. They were pretty much at the bottom of the ladder for most of their seasons, except 2017 when they reached the semi-finals, and it's a great achievement. Could that fairy tale be a reality? Well, we'll find out in just a couple of short hours. And there you see Sarah Asham starting at fullback, getting some last-minute warm-ups in. Taz Walker, as I said, her seasoning quarterback, as well as Xanth Gray for the Vipers. And so preparations are just about to wrap up now here at E&D Litis Stadium. We must thank our supporters as well, especially our main broadcast suppliers, CD Dog Scrap Metal Recyclers. Will be providing you replays and highlights all throughout the night. And let us know where you're watching from, ladies and gentlemen, whether it be here on the field or anywhere across West Australia or around the world. We'd love to hear your feedback on Front Row Screen Sport, of course. We're for you in 2022. Our officials are set, referees are set, and now they're just awaiting the players who are getting themselves set. And joining me in the commentary box for this women's game, he's been able to run straight to the box, Jared Bennett. Jared, a very good evening to you. It's a big game, not only for the women's competition, but also women's sport in general, and the Rockingham Vipers and the West Coast Wolverines deservedly being here in the West Bowl tonight.
Most certainly. Thank you very much for having me. It is going to be a great hit out today. The Rockingham Vipers have actually been in this for the last couple of years, and the Wolverines have been the surprise package this year. It's definitely going to be a great game.
And we've got the coin toss getting underway. Foliaki, the captain for the Vipers, and also Sarah Asham at fullback, captain for the Wolves. And we'll get the toss of the coin going. And it looks like the Wolverines have won the toss, and we'll find out once they get back on the field if they will have first possession of the ball and what end they'll defend to. The Wolverines, they've had a big fairy tale year, of course, for much of their time, except 2017. They've been at the bottom of the ladder. They haven't played in the semi-finals since their inception year. It's been a big fairy tale under the leadership of Matt Carsons as coach, and also Aaron Webster.
Yeah, it has been. As a person, a part of the Gridiron West, the Wolverines women's have, I wouldn't say struggled, but they have definitely learnt this time around. They've done incredibly well to make this West Bowl. I have all props to them and their coaching staff and their playing staff. They've done incredibly well this season. The
Vipers, they've got some international experience as key. They have representatives from New Zealand and Tonga, and also they've got captains in their 4th and 5th seasons respectively, Fala and Foliaki. They're going to be a key should they receive an offensive drive first.
Oh, that is correct. The Vipers have always been strong, and the players that they do have the grit and grind to actually push and continue to run over people. And it'll be interesting to see how the Wolverines do stop those powerhouses. But it's definitely a big prop that the Vipers have made it again this far.
Who's your tip?
Look, I'm going to go underdogs this time, and I'm going to go West Coast Wolverines.
You're going to go the Wolverines? I'm going to go the other way. As I mentioned earlier, I'm going to say the Vipers, but expect the Wolves to put on a really good fight. So it'll be the Vipers that will receive first up in the Women's West Bowl. Kicking it off will be number 95 in Halu Ukonika. In fact, no, I think it'll be Walker to kick things off for the Wolverines. The Vipers will receive first. The Women's West Bowl is go. Low line drive towards the 10. And it will be fielded by the Vipers, that being Togiona at defensive tackle. She fields this one, taken over the sideline. And it will begin the first offensive drive for the Vipers.
Now, for the West Coast Wolverines, I believe that it starts from a good, strong defensive set. You might look out for number 4. That's Amy Adagnia. She's played for the West Australian Raiders in the state team tournaments. She might be the highlight for tonight.
She's also got a good background in AFL and rowing. So Vipers will begin that first down. It's a 1st and 10. Committing to the handoff, and they found some daylight right away. It's Kathy Gray from quarterback, committing to the handoff. Touchdown, Vipers, what a start.
That is an incredible start. First play, first go.
As we'll see on the CD Dodd replay, have a look at this. Inside handoff, finding some daylight, effective immediately. Kathy Gray, an incredible bit of play. Finding some daylight and making the most of it for a 6-pointer on the very first play. You cannot ask for a better start than that, especially in the West Bowl. And now, back live, they're going to go for an extra 2 points to try and make it 8 and zip. Outside handoff to Acker, no good. Brought down by a pack of Wolves, and it will remain 6-0 inside the first 2 minutes
That was
of
a great
this
read.
game.
That was a great read by the quarterback just then, and the O-line making the gaps that needed to be there. Very good start, and it's just now for the Wolverines to wake up.
It'll be interesting to see if they can make that quick response. And for Kathy Gray, first season as quarterback, but also started to rotate a couple of positions. She's playing a bit in left back and running back as well across the season, so that rotation has really paid off, and it's got the Vipers the dream start. Key for the Wolverines, what can they do to really take the Vipers off their running game and resort to those long passes? Because they've got some great inside runners, do the Vipers.
So definitely just then, the first play, definitely a bit of hiccups. I think that on the 2-point defense line by the Wolverines, I think that was a much better stance. They were ready, they were awake. I think it was just bad. First play, bad play. It's going to start over now.
Guess it was just West Bowl nerves.
That's definitely it, yes.
Only time will tell. The kickoff will be fielded by Jones. Jones fakes to the outside, fakes a second time, gets brought down, and it'll be at around the 35, the 40-yard line, and that'll begin their first offensive drive. Of course, Oakley Jones, granddaughter of Dixie Jones. Great family combination. For Oakley, it's her 3rd season. She's got a great rugby background at 17 years of age. And Dixie Jones, 65 years young. Age is just a number in sport. Absolutely fantastic to see the veterans having a go as well. So, 8 and a bit minutes remaining in this first quarter. Outside handoff to Asham at the 35. A nice don't argue at the expense of Togiona on defensive tackle, but is brought down behind the line for a short loss of about a couple.
I think this is the experience of the Vipers here. Just then, defensive set, they've come out strong, they've come out aggressive. The Wolverines were just a little bit slow on the run game just then, and the Rockingham Vipers just really well to corral them to just go no gain. They did lose about 5 yards just then, so great defensive pressure.
Second down and about 12 for the Wolverines. Again, the handoff. This time to Dagnaya at running back. Dagnaya finds daylight, all too brief, and is taken out of it by Williams for a 3rd down and about 11.
There's that speed that the Wolverines do need. We'll be looking to probably go to Dagnaya a bit more.
Let's take a look at this at the CD Dodd replay. Dagnaya found daylight on the outside, but the Vipers' defence read that play brilliantly and brought Dagnaya down.
Very lucky on the tackle just then, reaching behind the back of the back of the shoulder pads, but clean, I guess, and see what the ref saw.
Yeah, usually that would be a flag, but well, sometimes you'd see it differently. Dagnaya this time goes to the inside and brought down, and that is a 4th down. That is 3 and out for the Wolverines, and there's always that question. You're always tempted, especially when you're only a few yards away from a first down, to go for it, or you'd have to punt it away, because a 3 and out isn't the way you want to start.
Definitely not. I believe they're bringing the punt ball in now. Smart move, because this is, again, the jitters are high. They need to get it deep and start up a good defensive set now.
Well, doesn't look like it. They've got 2 players alongside Walker. In fact, yes, they are. They had us guessing there for a moment. Punted away by Walker. And they'll just let this one go to the line.
Got a kind bounce.
It'll be taken by Jordan for the Wolverines, but that will end the Wolverines' first offensive drive. It'll be a first down for the Vipers from their own 25. Paul Persick and Jared Bennett's with you in the commentary box. It's the first of a doubleheader on this Saturday night, Gridiron West Bowl night here at E&D Litis Stadium. Don't forget, we've got the men's game coming up, Swan City and Curtin. That one promises to be a beauty. And if you're just joining us for the first time, about 6 and a bit minutes remaining in this one. Of course, 12-minute quarters in these women's games. The Vipers leading 6-0. Canthy Gray scoring a touchdown with the very first offensive play of the night as they bring it down from the 25. And Acker, it's taken out of it after an inside handoff and brought down by Bukuona and Dixie Jones, as we see on the CD Dodd replay, Jared.
Yep, so much better pressure by the Wolverines just now. The linebackers coming in, putting the pressure, and just then making their run game a bit slower.
Second down, and they gained about 3 or 4 there. Again, another inside handoff. Great commitment by Acker. Finds daylight on the outside. Goes towards the side. And Jenna Jordan brings her down. And that is a first down conversion. That's their first one of the night. And we'll take a look at this one of the CD Dodd replay. That running game by the Vipers, as you said, Jared, really the key, as it's proved throughout the season.
Definitely is. They're very strong at run the ball, and the offensive line is just well drilled. The coaching staff of the Vipers have been pushing this really hard, and just then you see a cut behind their line, cut across the linebackers and making that big open run. It'll be hard to stop if they keep doing this.
The ball on the 36, first down and 10. Good handoff by Gray to the inside, but taken down for about a gain of 2. Second down, and that ball just shy of the 45 here at E&D Litis Stadium. Good family surrounded crowd, especially sitting by the hills here this evening. With about 4.5 minutes to go in this first quarter. 6-0 Rockingham lead. Of course, they've been the best team throughout the competition. Only losing 1 game and getting through to the semi-finals quite easily last week to book their place in the West Bowl. Gray gets the handoff onto the outside. And again, the Wolverines defence bringing it all down. As we take a look on the CD Dodd replay. Take us through this one, Jared.
Yep, so once again, Vipers' run game incredibly strong. They have their close set, so they've got their slot receivers in really tight to the line. Great blocking, great hole presentation then, and the running back just seeing daylight and taking it. Again, Wolverines need to pick up their linebackers, and the D-line need to penetrate. And
that's another first down conversion, so first down and 10, just inside the 35. Reverse pitch. Acker, daylight again. Breaks through Dagnaya, breaks through another, and caught just short of the end zone. What a great run by Acker. What about that, Gray and Acker providing such a deadly combination off the handoff. Acker's handoff really catching the Wolverines' defence off guard in this game. You
great misdirection there, yes.
You could pretty much say, Jared, as well, that the Wolverines, again, are just getting those grand final jitters, and they're just wanting to get them out of the way as much as they can, but it's not the way you want to start if you can see 2 straight touchdowns in the first 10 minutes. Will they look for a throw here? They go inside through Gray. Touchdown, Vipers. 2 in a row for the top of the ladder, Rockingham. They are looking good at the moment. It's 12-zip with 2.5 minutes to go. Jared, their inside running game proving effective every single time.
Just here in the replay, incredible effort by the O-line, pushing that D-line back. The O-line was about 2-3 yards, inside that end zone. When that happens, you've got running game. And once again, the Vipers are proving it. They're strong on the run.
Just over 2 minutes to go, and they are looking to make it 14-0, the Vipers. An incredible first quarter. Dream start with Gray scoring the touchdown on the very first offensive play. Can they make it a 2-point conversion? Gray, outside throw towards Foliaki. 2-point conversion is good. And they make it 14-0 on this dream opening for the Vipers. Let's take a look. That's their first throw of the night, Jared, and a perfect time for them to deliver.
So just here, I feel like the Wolverines were expecting run because the Vipers, again, have run the entire game. They probably overcommitted on the run just then, and it was an easy pass out the top. Was pressured, but, yeah, it's hard when you expect run and you go for the run, and then all of a sudden it's a pass. It's a bit wide open.
Foliaki, the target, making the catch quite easily, starting from offensive tackle and scoring the touchdown. Foliaki in her 4th season with the Vipers, a rugby league representative from Tonga. Tremendous talent she is, and also starting on defensive end as well. In her 4th season, one of the co-captains along with Adelaide Fowler and Xanth Gray in their 5th and 4th seasons respectively, so plenty of experience is the key. So Xanth Gray will kick this one off and give the Wolverines a chance at their 2nd offensive drive. Just under 40 seconds to go in this opening quarter, so the Wolverines will have the ball for the 2nd quarter. It's received by Jean Porter. Now, she's wanting to move it on very quickly. Can they get one on the board just before quarter time? Palm off, ill-effective. And a great tackle ending the play by Tracy Daniels at fullback, and that'll likely end the 1st quarter. We'll go to the CD Dodd replay off of that one. What about this one from Jean Porter? They're often going to the outer side, but not playing direct. They need to not go with this merry-go-round stuff.
Definitely with the kickoff. I feel like most teams do return to their sidelines, so to make things a little bit awkward, the Vipers did really well putting it onto their sideline and making the Wolverines, pick the ball up and actually having to run across the field to start making positive gains.
And that is quarter time here at E&D Litis Stadium. 14-zip in favour of the top of the ladder Vipers in the Women's West Bowl. We'll be back after this.
At CD Dodd, we recycle metal. So we recycled some 90s metal musicians to create our new jingle.
Second quarter action underway here at E&D Litis Stadium. Paul Persick and Jared Bennett's with you. The Wolverines beginning their 2nd offensive drive, and a tackle being committed by the Vipers defence, and that'll be for a loss of just 1. 14-zip is the scoreline as we're into the 2nd quarter. Jared, what a dream start by the top of the ladder Vipers in that 1st quarter. It was a really big turn.
Yeah, the Vipers have taken this on as a great opportunity to show their dominance in this league. Obviously scoring 14 points in the 1st quarter is pretty incredible. Yeah, it's a credit to the team, credit to what they've done all season.
Drive again being cut down. Asham faking the handoff. Eventually got it out to Jordan, but she was brought down on the 15. 12-minute quarters, 3rd down rather.
This would be a nice time for the Wolverines to potentially make a throw. Obviously 3rd and long, more than 10 yards. They do need to make some great yards in this, so look to maybe pass out wide or do a wide out run.
They've only got one wide receiver lined up to the left-hand side, a few players in motion. Faking the handoff out to Dagnaya. Hard tackle being applied by Daniels at fullback. And this time it will be a 3rd and out. 4th down for the Wolverines. Take us through this one.
Yep, so they try to do a bit of a sweep with their receiver. But well done to the defender of the Vipers. They're staying at home, not overcommitting. Just then they tried to create something tricky, and once again the well-drilled side of the Vipers stayed at home and made a great stop.
This punt will put them into prime territory for the Vipers, and this will be fielded by Adelaide Fowler. Fair catch, breaks through one tackle, finds some space on the outer side towards the 15, towards the 10, taken out of bounds, and that will stop the run. And the Vipers, they are on the 10-yard line in prime territory for a third touchdown.
They're in a very dangerous position now because this only takes a little bit to score from here. Great run by Adelaide. She's definitely been something exciting today, and just then making a good 30-yard gain with the punt return. It is exciting to watch, and as a Wolverines perspective, they do need to shut that down. They do need to get the pressure up, get energetic, get excited, get some depth into their run. Defensively, penetration on the D-line. Don't let the Vipers O-line push you, and linebackers need to be presenting, getting up really close to those running backs.
Let us know where you're watching from, viewers, wherever you may be across this great state of WA, the nation, or around the world on our Front Row Screens live stream. 14-zip, 9 minutes to go in the second quarter as Fowler from running back getting the outside handoff, taken to ground by Jean Porter at left back for a second down. They've only gained about one there, but they are still in good position just inside the 10-yard line.
Much better by the Wolverines D-line just then. She did scrape, get in there nice and close, and stop that run on the outside.
Well, Konuka and Jones on defensive tackles. Another inside handoff. Fowler again being the one relied on to find daylight on the inside. And again brought down. This time looks like a third down. And in goal territory. And the ball is on the 5-yard line. So they've gained half the yards required. Can they add a third on the board? Foliaki going in close, as is keeper. So this is a third down and 5. Great handoff to Gray. Finds space on the outside, but great defence by the Wolverines, and a flag has been thrown. Yellow flag thrown on the field. There was an infraction. Question was, who caused it? It looked as though it might have been the defence. Let's have a look here.
So just now, the quarterback tried to do a bit of a bootleg keep. Did really well on misdirecting, but Wolverines did incredibly well to hold it. I think it was an offside by the offense. So that means maybe one of the O linemen might have been a little bit too close to the ball or a little bit over the line. It's good for the Wolverines for sure. That gives them a bit of breathing room.
It'll remain a third down, and they were taken back 10 yards. So you are correct. Offside call against the Vipers. So it'll be 3rd and 15. Gray on the outside. She fakes the handoff, looking for the throw, and is incomplete. And that will be... In fact, it's a turnover on downs.
No, it's still fourth down now. That is a great pressure by the end of the Wolverines, chasing the quarterback. The quarterback did well with the pump fake to get a little bit of time. Just the pressure was great again. Kept the quarterback running, wasn't able to plant and throw. Throwing on the run is incredibly hard, especially when you're having to run backwards a little bit. So it was good by the Wolverine player then. And
especially since now they're 4th and 15. They've got a long way to go towards the end zone. The Wolverines defence and that penalty has set them back 10 yards. They're going to have to take the whisk. They've got 2 out wide on the left and the right-hand side. Gray throws out wide, incomplete, turned over. And so the Wolverines now will have possession.
Once again, great pressure by the defensive end just then, creating the quarterback to scramble and not able to set their time, have a look, compose. The pressure is high. That was much better. Much better defensive set by the Wolverines. They only had a little bit to play with, and they actually made it better. Well done, girls.
V. Roberts tuning into our comments. Mean run, Addy. And also Elise Dagnaya. Elise Dagnaya, sister of Amy Diagna, and recovering from COVID diagnosis in isolation. All the best, Elise. Keep yourself safe, and hopefully you'll be back out and about in no time. Wolverines have another drive. Walker brought down. Faking the handoff for short gain. They're just on the 11-yard line. They're on 11. On the CD Dodd replay, Vipers defence really keeping them in their territory. They're really right at home here in this first half.
The defence of the Vipers is incredible, but I do believe there's a bit of miscommunication by the quarterback and the running backs just then. A bit of confusion, a bit of a broken down play.
I've got to have Barker at wide receiver. I reckon she needs to find some space out wide, get herself a suitable route at wide receiver, but they're relying on those handoffs as Dagnaya receives another outside handoff, finds some space, but only briefly. And that will be a third down with just over 5 minutes to go.
Definitely a run-heavy team. We would like to see some short passes, some quick slants in, get some options going, because running the game, you do get a little bit predictable. But again, this coaching staff have got them this far. They're going to create something up.
The third down and about 12. Inside handoff again. They gain a couple of yards, but not enough. And that'll be a fourth down, and most likely they'll have to punt it away.
Yeah, so they've put themselves in a sticky situation again about getting not far enough and obviously staying deep in their territory where they have to punt. They've just thrown the punt ball in now. So we will look to punt, and let's just hope they'll able to contain and not let the receiving team make a great big gain again.
Setting up for the return is Fowler, and she'll take the ball on about the 40. Here's the punt from Walker, gets plenty of hang time on it, and Fowler will just let that one go, and their next drive will begin on the 40 for the Vipers. They lead at 14-zip. And that'll be a 1st and 10 for the Vipers on their next offensive drive. Joining us live on Front Row Screen Sport, this is the Gridiron West Women's West Bowl, the first of a double-header here on FRS Sport. We're for you in 22. Don't forget, men's game coming up a little later on. We've got the Swan City Titans and the Curtin Saints. That one promises to be a real beauty between 1st and 2nd. 1st and 3rd, meanwhile, is the game that you are seeing here at E&D Litis Stadium. 1st and 10 on the 40. Inside handoff from Gray, committing to it is Fowler, and brought down for a short gain, and it'll be a 2nd down.
Once again, great push by the offensive line. They're getting deep, and it is hard to stop when you have to, try and fight your way through someone. They're getting 3, 4, 5 girls in front of that running back, and if you're a tackler, you can't be taking on more than 2 people at once.
Looks like they're going to go for a throw here. Fowler is in support of Gray. Well, they're looking like they're going to go for an outside handoff. Gray goes for that handoff towards Acker. We scored one of the touchdowns in the first quarter. Finds some daylight, but brief. And is brought down 3rd down. In fact, no, it's a converted 1st down. Referee is deliberating with the other refs there. Might have been an
infraction.
infraction.
On the floor.
Yes, there is.
Might be a false start by the running back. Wasn't set before the play. Oh, no, offside. And they've declined the penalty.
They have declined it by the looks of things. So 1st down nonetheless for Rockingham. Just under 2 minutes of game time, 2.5 minutes of game time in this second quarter. Faking the handoff, Gray finds daylight. This is brilliant. Gray is pushed out of it by Dagnaya, and again they convert a 1st down.
Great run again. Wolverines D-line getting caught up in the middle. Linebackers pushing up too close, creating that outside run.
Take a look here at the CD Dodd replay. Wolverines defence not finding enough ways to try and shut down the runners in Gray, Acker, and also Adelaide Fowler. They are the 3 keys in their running game, and the Wolverines just don't have enough pace at the moment.
No, and I think this again, tried, true, tested. The the Vipers' running game has always been strong.
2-minute warning just before half time in this all-important game, Women's West Bowl 2021-22. The Vipers Going up against the Wolverines. Outside handoff. Fowler. Oh, a little don't argue from Fowler approaching the 10-yard line, taken out. And now they have themselves another chance towards the end zone and a third touchdown with less than 2 minutes left.
Great effort by the offensive line again. Just having that extra person on either side. Usually with women's gridiron, they have 3 line because they play a 9-man football. And this one, they usually have 3. So they bring in their extra receivers in to make it a 5 line. And they're just doing incredibly well containing those outside runs and pushing that defensive line back. Just resetting the ball. Bringing
the extra players forward. It is first down. They made another conversion on first down for this next play. They've got a couple out wide. One of them there is Fowler. The other is McKinley and Williams. Again, handoff by Gray towards Fowler and brought down just short of the line. And that'll be a 2nd and goal. Here on the CD Dodd replay. You see there, did you notice the Vipers, they just keep on huddling right away. They don't go into this hurry-up stuff. The Wolverines, they just go straight to their places. Different mindsets for both teams.
Yeah, we'll talk in a second.
Gray hands it off to the outside, finding Acker. Once again, Acker finds some daylight. Touchdown, Vipers. The dream run continues.
Broken tackles definitely do hurt when you do have in the backfield. Just on the offensive side of the ball, yeah, they're going to huddle nearly every time. See on the replay, they just missed this tackle. If they get that, Vipers are back a couple of yards. Unfortunately, broken tackles do lead to some big runs.
And that makes it 2-4. Adrian Acker, the running back, she's had herself a fine first half. And with just a minute to go, they could make it 22-0 with this 2-point attempt. On the 5-yard line, Gray fakes the handoff. Wolverine tackle needing to be on. And it's no good. Oh no, it's got it. They got it by the looks of things. And now it is 22-0, so they just got it.
Once again, great effort by the O-line. We cannot stop saying this because it's always going to keep happening. This O-line is just pushing this team. Anything that's behind it, you're not going to get around.
So it's 22-0 in favour of the Vipers. They are continuing on this run. West Coast have not put anything on the scoreboard at the moment, although they would want to. They need to be a little more desperate. They need to commit to their throwing game a little bit. They've been a run-heavy team this season, but if you're up against the Vipers side that have got those outside passes, can create some slants, and it's only a matter of time before it becomes an even bigger demolition job. Now Gray will kick this one off. What's she going to do? She looks like she might be looking for an onside kick. Not this time. Kickoff will be fielded by Dagnaya. And straight away, hard tackle from Daniels. And the Wolverines offense will be brought back in with a minute to go.
Massive hit just then. With gridiron, running low is always going to get you well. If you run up high, your weight's tilting back. If you get popped, just like now, you go backwards. Great shoulder charge, no doubt. But on that play, if you've got the ball, usually lower your shoulder a little bit, get a little bit lower. 9 times out of 10, the lowest person usually wins on that one.
Less than a minute of game time to go. The Wolverines desperate to get a score on the board. First down, 22-0. Walker, handoff, outside. Dagnaya looking for the throw, incomplete.
Try to do a bit of trickery there, a bit of run and pass. That's what we need to see from the Wolverines. We cannot just be doing basic football. Being 22 down just before the half, you need to create something, be a bit spicy, and that's what they've tried.
Well, Rockingham have been creative all throughout the first half, so Wolverines are doing the exact opposite of what Rockingham have been doing in the first half of the game.
That's for sure. The Rockingham Vipers done incredibly well on the offensive line, pushing, but their misdirection with having multiple running backs in the backfield. Yes, Wolverines do have that at the moment, but they've I feel like they've just been a little bit too simple tonight.
Second down. And again, incomplete throw. And that will be a 3rd and 10.
Rockingham with a bit of pressure just then. Their D-line is penetrating. That is causing their mistakes now.
Could this be a 3rd 3 and out for the Wolves? And keep in mind, they will start with the ball in the second half. So they would likely punt it away and not have any offensive possession again until the 3rd quarter. Jordan receives the handoff from Walker. Not able to find some daylight there. And it will be a 3 and out, and they'll have to punt it away just like that.
Yeah, it does get a little bit disheartening when this keeps happening. But once again, these girls aren't in here because they can't play. The girls play football because they love it. They're not going to let something like this put their spirit down.
Passion never dies down for these teams. Under 30 seconds to go. 4th down. It's a 3 and out. And Adelaide Fowler is getting ready to field another punt for the Vipers. 22-0. 10 seconds left. It's a high punt. Fowler fumbles that one, but just recovers it in the nick of time. And is brought down. There's a flag. And that is going to do it for the second quarter, even with the flag. Yellow flag being waved by the referees on the field.
Not too sure what that penalty's for. Just wait for the referee to signal it once again.
Might have been an illegal infraction. Might have been a face mask by the looks of things.
Potentially a block in the back. I couldn't quite see what the referee was doing on the other side with his hand signals, but it's been brought right back, which hurts again. So it makes me think it is a block in the back on the O-line. It does get a bit hard when the D-line is penetrating so much. They're having to hold and create.
And that's going to do it. That's going to do it for half-time. And that is a dream run for the Rockingham Vipers. They lead at 22-0 over the West Coast Wolverines in this Women's West Bowl. Rockingham have the ascendancy. Can they keep it? Well, we'll find out in the second half when we come back to E&D Litis Stadium right after this. Still 40 seconds left on the clock in the second quarter until half-time. And that was a first and down.
Half-time now.
Half-time, in fact, it is now. We won't go to a break as of yet, but half-time here at E&D Litis Stadium. It's the Women's West Bowl for 2021-22. Paul Bursk and Jared Bennett with you. That is a dream run for the Rockingham Vipers, the top-of-the-ladder team. They have proven why they are the best team in the competition. How about it, Jared?
Most certainly. The Rockingham Vipers have been a well-drilled team for years, and this is just proving that their dominance in the league. This time, I believe the Wolverines need to focus after half-time, come back with a little bit more aggression, a little bit more composure, try something a little bit different. I know that these girls are good players, so it is a bit of a surprise, the score, but with the coaching staff they have, they should be able to pull it back.
Their inside running game has been a really big key for the Vipers, as we'll go to the CD highlights right now of that first half. The Wolverines on their offensive drives really didn't take that into account in their pre-game preparation, is that the Vipers, through their experience, have got a really solid running game. They've got those inside and outside handoffs they've relied upon, and they're able to find daylight every single time.
Yeah, it definitely helps with the experience of the O-line. Having a couple of really great running backs with such raw talent, you tend to create what you can. And just seeing here, the bootleg from the quarterback, it was a great stop by the Wolverines, but just them being creative with their run game, never doing the same thing, has definitely showed why they have been quite dangerous in the run.
You see here a couple of throws by Kathy Gray. They may have gone incomplete, but there were a couple of good throws that were completed by the Vipers. One to Foliaki at the other end of the ground for a 2-point conversion, and also one from Gray onto Acker. Of course, Acker scoring the other of the 3 touchdowns. She scored 2 in this game so far and has converted from another. No doubt the Wolverines would want to keep their eye on Adrian Acker for the second half.
Definitely going to need to lock down someone. When more than 1 or 2 people create, you need to figure out who is your most dangerous. And for the Wolverines, it might be doing a bit of a lockdown position where the linebacker might have to scrape with a certain running back. Eliminate that person from the equation and just lock down on defence. It is a bit open at the moment, and their D-line's getting pushed back. A little bit more grit and grind when we get there.
Who needs to lock Acker down? That's the big question.
Definitely. It's going to be a bit of a toss and turn about who their personnel can be. But once again, this is a smart team. The coaching staff is incredible, so I do hope they come back with a bit of aggression, a bit of intensity, and push this Viper team. Not let it a blowout.
Oakley and Dixie Jones have been a little bit quiet. Oakley Jones from safety and Dixie Jones on defensive tackle. They've really been out on their feet, so to speak.
Yeah, again, great opportunity by the Vipers to create what they can. They've done really well to run, containing those defensive ends and the nose tackles in, making that linebacker job really hard, and coming down from safety. It's always hard when you've got some big bodies charging down and block you. Again, it's who's going to make this game different on the defensive end. It'll be if the D-line gets some penetration, make those running backs confused, scared, worried about going to those gaps. Linebackers meeting the runners at the gaps or chasing and scraping across the line.
They haven't been able to take risks, the Wolverines, because obviously grand final experience is lacking compared to the Vipers, for them being their second consecutive year in the West Bowl in the women's competition. But what's also important is that they have to lay everything on the line. They have to take risks. They cannot be afraid to go for the throw, because they've been reliant, as you said, on their inside and outside running game. They're a run-heavy team, but it's only a matter of time where you've got to take risks and throw the Vipers off their game through some long or short throws, create some slants, even create some curls to get to one of the receivers to come back and create some space stationary.
That's correct. When you're always running the ball, the defense tends to be, they tend to click onto it, bit lazy, and they might just jump onto the run straight away. A couple of passes here and there might make the Rockingham Vipers defense switch on a little bit more that, hey, we do have to block, we do have to defend the pass, we do have to defend outside runs. I think, as we saw, Wolverines tried a little bit different before the half-time. I think they come back into this with a bit more creativity, a bit more pass action, and hopefully get a bit of run game going a bit more from that as well, because once you get your pass game going, they have to defend both, not just run.
Only time will tell, but the Vipers, they've got the ascendancy over the Wolverines. If you look at that scoreboard as we go to the break, 22-zip over the West Coast Wolverines, but still a big second half coming up here at E&D Litis Stadium. Can the Wolverines bite back, or will it be the Vipers that'll slither their way to another West Bowl championship? We'll be back with the second half right after this.
At CD Dodd, we recycle metal. So we recycled some 90s metal musicians to create our new jingle. cddodd.com.au.
Great crowd sitting amongst the hills in shady territory here at the Litis Stadium. They're keeping themselves cool, enjoying what is a marvellous night of Gridiron West action. It is, of course, the grand finale of the 2021-22 season. It is the West Bowl here on Front Row Screen Sport. Of course, we're for you in 2022. It's the first of two games that we're bringing to you live. And later on, Jared Bennett's, we have got the men's game. Swan City, they'll be looking to culminate a perfect season when they do battle with the Curtin Saints. It should be an absolute beauty.
Yeah, so heavy favourites in the Titans. They've definitely been point heavy this year. And the last two visits, I believe, from the Titans and the Saints, the Titans have scored over 100 points.
It's incredible.
Averaging just over 50 points per game and only allowing, I think, on average, about 16 points from the Saints. So the Saints do have a hard job in containing what the Titans are able to create. But again, West Bowl brings out the best of everyone, so we might have a cracker in a game.
Of course, that'll come a little bit later in our coverage. The men's taking on a big task. One of them will have to follow up the Vipers' big effort so far. Will it be the Titans or will it be the Saints? Well, you'll find out at about 7 o'clock here on Front Row Screen Sport. You can go onto our Facebook and YouTube pages to check that one out. But here at E&D Litis Stadium, it has been all Rockingham in the women's decider. 22-0. They began with a 14-0 run at the start. They scored 8-0 in the second quarter. And there you see a couple of the Vipers stars. Palele, the Palele sisters, Anastasia and Avalu. Both back players, left back and defensive back respectively, as well as Tracy Daniels from fullback, who put on that great shoulder charge on Dagnaya in the second quarter. There's the crowd, no doubt enjoying themselves. It is great to have a good crowd here. You know, the best in local sport. We do it well here in WA.
Definitely, this is a great venue. The home of the Vincent City Ducks. They've done incredibly well to get this what they needed. Definitely a bit different for the finals, as is usually played around the corner. But this year it's definitely been a nice little venue for everyone and families, as we saw the hill before, all the family on the hill, grass mound, and definitely people up in the stadiums. Absolutely
fantastic. Of course, being on the former site of the old velodrome for when the 62 British Empire and Commonwealth Games were held here in Perth. So they are sitting on a nice slice of West Australian sporting history, but no doubt more will be created tonight. Of course, in the earlier game, if you saw it on the Gridiron West Facebook page, we had the Curtin Saints and the Claremont Jets doing battle in the Junior West Bowl, and it was the Jets that were victorious, 20-12. A couple of late touchdowns in the final quarter sealed the deal for the green and white, and a couple of great 14, 15-year-olds there showing their potential. Of course, 12-minute quarters in the women's game. If you're just joining us for the first time, touchdowns worth 6, and of course an extra 2 on an extra point conversion attempt if you are successful. If you are not familiar with the scoring of Gridiron, and if you're watching for the first time, well, hold on tight, strap yourselves in, because we've got ourselves a big second half coming up. It's all thanks to our major supporters, in particular CD Dodd, scrap metal recyclers, and we also thank all our partners that are on board for this broadcast, not just for the women's game, but also for the men's game a little later on tonight. For the Vipers, Jared, I'll give you 2 names who have been impressive the most for you so far for the Vipers side.
Yeah, so once again, we've got Adelaide Falale. She has been killing it on the running back. She is incredible. She is creating that space, creating that opportunity to run, carry. It is hard to stop what you can't see, and that's what the O-line is creating then. I think the second is the line itself, the O-line itself. They are creating amazing run game, purely by pushing that defence back. I cannot single one of those lineman girls out because they are crushing the defence line at the moment, pushing them back, creating those gaps and allowing the running backs and the quarterbacks to just have free reign.
Players about to get back out on the field. We've also got Palele and Folaki, of course, a proud auntie. Nanise Tiome, I hope I pronounced that right. Proud auntie cheering all the way from the Gold Coast. So cheerio to Nanise and all on the sunny Sunshine State over there in Queensland, the Gold Coast. No doubt they'll be enjoying themselves watching this game. Wolverines first to get back out on the field. No doubt they'll be facing a mountain climb of a task.
This is where the Wolverines game starts now. Forget about the first half. It's all about what happens now.
Well, like I said, they've got a big mountain to climb, 22 zip behind. But this is where their challenge starts. Third quarters, whether it's Australian rules football or gridiron football, they call this one the premiership quarter.
Definitely. This is what sets you up for a big finish. And they're going to get the ball first up, so let's hopefully they use it well, use it strong, get some penetration on the run, and maybe see some tricky passes coming out and be creative.
Can they do it? That's the question. Or are you, because you've stuck with the Wolverines tip all throughout the night, are you still sticking with them, or have you changed, or have you gone the 180?
No, I still stick with my decision. I don't like changing sides, even though the scoreboard says something else. I still believe there's anything can happen in this sport.
Well, you'll stick with yours, I'll stick with mine then. But should be an interesting second half. Of course, 12-minute quarters in these women's games. Xanthi Gray will kick it off for the Vipers, and the Wolverines will have first possession to begin the second half as Carney will recover this one from the 30. One's Daylight on the outside, close to the sideline and almost taken over. In fact, she was. And this will be a 1st and 10 to kick things off in this second half. It is going to be all or nothing for the Wolverines, as we see on the CD Dodd replay. This is what they've done for most of the night.
Much better on the run. Great effort keeping your feet on the tackle. Breaking a couple of tackles before finally getting to the ground is what the Wolverines need. This might be the energy and a bit of the spark, even though it was the very first start of the second quarter kickoff. This might be that little bit of spark and energy they needed.
Third quarter underway. Wolverines behind 22-0 against the heavily favoured Rockingham Vipers. They've been on top spot in the ladder. They've only lost one game. Easily got through via their semi-final. As well for the West Coast Wolverines. They had it tougher against the Broncos last week. First offensive drive, inside handoff. Dagnaya brought down behind the line for a gain of 1.
Much better run game just then. Pushing it hard.
As we see on the CD Dodd replay, good composure there by the Vipers to bring them down, especially the likes of Dagnaya and Walker, who are doing everything they can to gain as much yard as they can, but the Vipers restricting them well on their defensive end, and the flag has been put up. It looked like, from where we are in the commentary box, Jared, it might have been a false start.
Yeah, straight onto it by the referees. They haven't missed much today.
They've done a great job across the season. False start it is, so it'll be a second down, but they'll go back a further 5 yards, so it'll be 2nd and 15.
From a great run from the first play to a bit of a disappointing second. Let's hope these girls can find that spark again. Big run by Dagnaya last time. Let's see if she can do it again.
Well, their running game has been limited by the penetration of the Vipers' defence through the space. The Wolverines' offence often leave. Walker, inside handoff, and just like that, the Vipers ruthless on the defensive end, bringing Walker down for a loss of 1 and a 3rd down.
Yeah, that hurts. That false start definitely hurts their offensive series. They made that first run for about 5 yards. They lost that 5 yards with a false start. They're now 3rd and about 12. Makes it quite difficult now.
It does. Very rarely you come back from a penalty and that costs you 5 yards. Another outside handoff from Walker onto Dagnaya. Running close to the sideline and brought down for a gain of 2, but that won't be enough. That's a 3 and out. And the Vipers will get back the ball in moments.
Yeah, definitely an offensive series killer. Having a penalty against you at the very start does definitely hurt. And as we see here, Dagny is trying to run around, gets cut off well by the defence and has to come back in. As soon as she cuts back in, she's having to run through other Vipers, and it makes things very difficult.
Talvale Fala making the tackle. Her 5th season, weightlifting champion, Samoan Rugby League representative. Fantastic stuff. They try the risk. They go for the outside throw, looking for the slant from Jordan, but to no avail. And that is a turnover on downs.
That is very unfortunate for the first offensive series of this second half. But there were some glimpses right before that penalty. Let's hope that this defence holds up to the run game of the Vipers.
Now, credit to them. Walker attempted the risk. They went for the throw, but where was that to?
Unfortunately, she was throwing on her back foot, so all her momentum is going backwards. She needed to plant, assess, and throw forward through her hips. There was a receiver out there, but unfortunately on the back foot, usually things go over the top or very short, and this time went over the top.
1st and 10. First down now for the Vipers. They begin their first offensive drive in this second half. Samantha Gray at quarterback. She's done a marvellous job. Inside handoff towards Fala, quickly brought down. And that'll be a gain of just about 1, and a 2nd and 9 coming up now for the Vipers.
Much better by the D-line just then, getting in there, staying at home, tried to cut back and got stopped.
Gray again handing that one off to Acker. She's been damaging throughout the game. Great defence again by the Wolverines, restricting that one to about 2 or 3 yards. Dagnaya from defensive running back laying the tackle.
They're going straight in, quick, no huddle.
Yep, they've got the hurry-up mode engaged now. Gray handoff to Adelaide Fala, and a loss of 1. Wolverines defence bringing them back. That is a 3rd down.
Much better by the linebacker just then.
In fact,
splitting the gaps.
4th down, I should say.
Splitting the gap just then, creating that run, stopping that run. See, she's lining up on the outside linebacker.
So they're going for it. They are going for it now. Gray receives the handoff, turned over. So that's 2 turnovers on downs in a row. The Wolverines inflict their first. This might be a sign.
Much better defensive start by the Wolverines. This is what they needed to start with. Unfortunately, it took them 2 quarters. This is where they make their game now.
As we see on the CD Dodd replay, great read of the play there by Dagnaya, as well as Asham from fullback, to find the space left by the Vipers to commit to the tackle.
Well done by the Wolverines defensive set just then.
So we're into the first 6 minutes of this 3rd quarter.
Getting rushed by the referees.
Yep, you don't want to have a penalty for a delay of the game, and the referee's blown the whistle.
Timeout.
Timeout has been called, and this could be a good time for the Wolverines when they go on this timeout with 6:11 on the clock, just to reassess what they need to do on their offensive end. They don't want to repeat that 3 and out, but that 4th down, that 3rd down rather, credit to them for taking the risk through Walker on the throw on the outside. The problem was there was no intended target. As he said, the momentum was on the back foot.
Much better, and this is where it starts again. I know I say it every offensive series, but they need it to start somewhere. They're now having a chat with their coaches, and this is where they'll be told, slow down, compose, don't rush, run your steps through. Everyone needs to do their job. Don't overdo, do what you asked.
You go for these short bursts of yard gains. You don't want to go right up the field straight away at the risk of an incomplete pass or even a defensive pickoff. We haven't seen a defensive pickoff all night, largely because we haven't seen a lot of passing plays.
No, so seeing a defensive pick is quite scary. But when you're 22 down, it might be worth trucking it down the field and see what happens.
You've got to take that risk, especially at a critical stage in a critical game like this.
In games like this, taking a risk could be the best option.
Makes a difference between winning and losing in this one. Jared Bennett's providing great analysis. Joining me, Paul Persick, in the commentary box. We certainly hope you're enjoying our coverage so far. 22-0, 1st down and 10 for the Wolverines. Slight delay, but now they're getting back into action. Walker, inside handoff, a reverse. Dagnaya fumbled. Is it recovered? Who's recovered it? I think it might have been the Vipers. Yes! Costly fumble. We talked about the reassignment of offence for the Wolverines, and then they fumble it just like that.
They were quite lucky. I think an offensive lineman just fell on that ball and managed to get a little bit of positive yards on the fall, but a bit scary and the ball goes popped up and gets fumbled. You don't know where it's going to land, don't know who's going to grab it. Thankfully, they were lucky that an offensive lineman
They
fouled
were
on it.
lucky to get that one. Second down and 8. They don't want to repeat the same mistake. Dagnaya out to Jordan, and she's brought down for a gain of about 2 and a third down.
Very good defensive pressure again. Vipers have been doing it all night. The Wolverines need to slow down, compose. Just then they tried to give a bit of a quicker inside handoff, trying to cut up a little bit earlier. It was there. It's just hard to execute sometimes, and just then it was just missed out.
And there, Topaz Jean Porter has been quiet, hasn't received a lot of the ball. Another inside handoff, trying to find very brief daylight, and this will be a 4th down. And they'll...
The flag's on the
Flag.
field. I believe it was a defensive encroachment. It's offside defence. So that would be a free play for the Wolverines.
That's a rare mistake.
Yes, it is. So that's the first defensive encroachment by the Vipers tonight. This gives the Wolverines 5 yards and a free play. So I think they've just accepted the 5 yards.
They have.
And they're going to repeat 3rd down, which now will make it 3rd down at about 2 yards, 1 yard.
Yep. 3rd down. Yes, you are correct. 3rd down and 2 by the looks of it. Yes. We're just over 4 minutes left in this 3rd quarter. And this will be a big opportunity for the Wolverines to convert for a 1st down. Walker hands it off. Dagnaya again. Do they go over? I don't think they do, judging by the reaction of the Vipers' defence. It is a 4th down.
Done very well by the defence just then. Big blitz from the outside and the inside. There's not much to do when you try to run the ball and you just get hammered by all the players. Just then you see the linebackers coming down, outside linebackers coming across and attacking the ball carrier.
So it'll be a 4th down and 1. So I'd see them going for it here. The Wolverines, they want to take those risks.
The Wolverines O-line need to push right now, and let's see what happens.
They've got to go for a sneak, I'd have to say. They can't go for these outside handoffs. Hasham gets brought down, and it is turned over.
That hurts from an offensive point of view. Just there, 1 yard shy. You do so much, and unfortunately it wasn't there. The player that got that tackle just then on the replay got in there perfectly, snuck in there, not even touched. Bang. Great tackle.
Right there and then, in prime position to make that tackle on Hasham.
Got given the ball and had nothing to do because as soon as she got the football, she got tackled.
So 22-zip if you're just joining us for the first time. 14-0 after quarter time, and then Rockingham added another 8 to make it 22-0. Credit to the Wolverines, though, they haven't conceded any further points on the scoreboard. Inside handoff onto Acker, finds some daylight. Touchdown, Vipers, another one added.
Wow, great run. O-line presented really well, pushing forward, making a big gap. Running back taking it, Acker taking it, and just taking a big cut on the outside. Big step, running on, using his speed. With a head full of steam, it's hard to stop.
Makes it number 3, 28-zip. How about that? Inside handoff, Acker committing to the daylight. And just like that, making it another touchdown. So that is 6-4 the quarter. Can they make it? 30-zip. Inside handoff towards Fowler. Is it towards the end zone? 2-point conversion. I think they got it. Yes, 30-zip.
Strong run game once again.
You could pretty much say, Jared, this is absolute one-way traffic.
Yeah, it definitely hurts on the Wolverines side of things, but credit to the Wolverines for getting to where they are. It is a bit hard, especially being their first time in the West Bowl. They have shown a bit of grit and grind, but unfortunately, experience has beaten them today.
Well, we've still got 1 quarter to go. We're not far away from 3-quarter time. And it'll be another kickoff committed by Gray. Gray, she has had a tremendous game thus far. And the Wolverines, they'll receive it You know what, I'd love to see the Vipers go for an onside kick here, if they can regain possession on the offensive end.
Being this high, this far in front, an onside kick would be good to see. It would be nice and fancy, but playing the smart game, kicking the long, getting that defensive ground, which they're doing really well right now.
Low line drive was recovered by
Great
Carney.
run.
How about this from Carney? We haven't seen this in a while from the Wolverines. Gets daylight, brought down on the 41.
Great chase then. And she had to go get that football because it went straight past her and rolled a bit further. She had to pick up, had to do something, and she made a couple of cuts, followed a couple of blocks, made a terrific return.
Let's see this on the CD Dodd replay. Look at this. Through 1, through 2, through 3, and then through 4. That was an incredible run, but eventually being brought down by Fala, and I think that is three-quarter time.
Indeed. That was a great effort by the returner. Having to follow that ball it can be quite scary because you turn your back, you don't know what's there, but as soon as she picked that footy up, she gathered, she focused, and followed her blockers, and that's how she made an incredible run. She stayed behind her blockers.
And that pretty much sums up that third quarter. They just had their runners and their blockers provided great support. Three-quarter time, Rockingham just 1 quarter away from achieving another title. In fact, we won't go to a break. We'll continue on with the action up until the end of the women's game. 30-0, Jared. Total domination by the Vipers and deservedly in prime position to take another title.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise us that Vipers have gotten themselves in a position like this. They have done it time and time again where their run game has been too heavy, they're too strong, and their O-line has been pushing. Their defense has been strong, making some big plays, cutting things down. Experience has shown tonight, and unfortunately, being the first time West Ball players in the Wolverines has shell-shocked them a little bit, but this is their first time. Next year, go again. If they make it again, they've got their experience this time.
30-0 as we begin the last quarter. Fourth term, 12-minute quarters as always. And the Wolverines will have first use to the left-hand side of the screen. And there is a delay.
Timeouts at Vipers.
Timeout has been called. And no better time, I think, to call a timeout than the beginning of the last quarter.
Yeah, I think just then, defence was a little bit unset, and they weren't sure what their assignment was. So, very well done by the Vipers head coach to see that. Bring their team back in, have a bit of a chat again, reassess, go back out there and play their plays.
And as you mentioned, if you want to talk about what was the big attribute for the Vipers in that third quarter, again, it was their running game. And it's been a game of running backs in this one, not only with the likes of Gray providing the first effect, and then of course Ariane Acker also providing some good work, and Adelaide Fala really been contributing and gaining yards on a regular basis. And then you've also got the likes of Walker and Dagnaya for the Wolverines, but to less of an effect because they haven't been able to add to the scoreboard. Throw to the outside, incomplete. The intended target was Oakley Jones, but unfortunately couldn't get that one to go.
No, but they have changed quarterback. Amy Dagney has gone into quarterback now, so she's no longer the running back. But having her quarterback gives her the ball straight away. Now she can either keep it and run herself, pass the ball like she just did, or give it to the running back, tailback behind her.
It's a 2nd down and 10. Will this change in quarterback really change the way they run their offense? Will it change the tempo of how they go? That only remains to be seen.
Potentially. As you can see, the Wolverines are actually going too wide on each side, so they're actually looking at maybe a passing game right now.
Something they should have done earlier in the game. Dagnaya has been sacked. That's the first sack of the night. Foliaki and Fala affecting the sack, and that'll cost them about 5 yards.
Incredibly hard when you want to pass the ball, but as soon as you look up, as soon as you plant your feet, you're getting rushed by that D-line, which that D-line got there incredibly fast. Dagnaya did her best to try and roll out, but the other side was contained as well. And when you got 3 people, one coming at you, one from either side, it is incredibly hard to escape.
Dagnaya, the Wolverine in a Viper sandwich. 3rd down and about 16. Dagnaya finds some daylight, too brief, and brought down by her counterpart wearing the number 4, Adelaide Fala, who has played a great game out of running back. I'm going to say she's going to be the women's MVP for this one. Adelaide Fala, put that one in the bank.
That's your book.
That's mine.
She has played incredibly well, returned well, run well, tackled well. Just then, the defence of the Vipers, the outside linebacker stayed at home, creating that running back not to be able to scoot out and Amy to pass that ball. She was unsure just then, and she tried to keep it. And as soon as she decided to keep it, she got tackled by Adelaide Fowler.
4th down and 16. And they're going to go for it from that long out. Dagnai, a long throw intended for Jones, incomplete. And that's a turnover on downs, just shy of the 40.
Much different set on there by the offense Wolverines. Having to pass the ball has created something a little bit different. It's now for the O-line to prevent pressure to Amy and the running back. But just then, there was an open player. Unfortunately, the pass was a little bit on the outside of the shoulder, making the receiver turn her head and actually look from her right shoulder to over her left shoulder, which, when you're doing that, you do lose sight of the ball.
So it'll be a 1st down and 10 for the Vipers. They are in prime territory on the 45. Timeout's been called. On the 40 rather. Timeout called. And the clock will stop. 9 minutes to go in this match. The Vipers 9 minutes away from creating history.
This game has once again been won in the trenches. And when I mean by trenches, it means the run game. So Wolverines, they have been there, they have been present, but the Vipers' experience and their power has just been overwhelming. For the first time, West Ball players, they've done really well, but unfortunately, Rockingham Vipers again with their size and experience, you can't beat that.
That's what it all boils down to at the end of the day, Jared, is that experience, and especially an accomplished side like the Vipers, especially with players from weightlifting champions who have represented rugby league and rugby union, Australia, Western Australia, Samoa, Tonga. That experience certainly counts, and it has counted for the Vipers on this day. Nothing to discredit the Wolverines, and to get here as well after being on the bottom of the ladder for so long is something to be proud of nonetheless. And no doubt they'll look at this game and go, okay, it was a bit of experience to lose that one, but it taught us what playing in a West Bowl was like.
For sure, and whoever's on the recruiting staff of the Vipers, well done. You have done an absolute excellent job of finding player and personnel.
1st and 10 with Gray receiving the outside handoff and brought down for about a gain of about 4.
And for the Wolverines, their personnel, again, they're great girls. Some of them have played for the West Australian Raiders and the state Gridiron. And they all come from all sorts of sporting backgrounds. From some play AFL, soccer, rowing, hockey. This is just a little bit different.
8.5 minutes remaining in this game. Inside handoff onto Acker and gets taken down. And they do gain a 1st down. Or do they? Yes, they do. Well, no, they don't. It's a 3rd down. 3rd down and inches.
3rd and inches, just short.
3rd and inches. Rockingham Vipers. They've got the Fowlers close by. They've also got Havalu Palele out wide, so they may want to try a throw play here.
Stick to what's tried and tested. They're going to run and ground this out.
It's a run and stunt style that has worked so well this season, and they charge forward the Vipers running backs, and they convert a 1st down.
Just then a QB Snake following her. She trusts her O-line to make that gap and that couple of yards in front, and that's exactly what happened. The O-line stood up, pushed that D-line back. You just got to walk in, and that's pretty much what she just did.
Don't forget, coming up a little bit later on, we've got the men's West Bowl, Swan City and Curtin, 1st versus 2nd. That one promises to be a really good game, and hopefully it's a lot closer. Fumble there by Gray. You don't see that from the Vipers that often, but it is well recovered. Goes to the outside. She'll take it to the boundary and over. Smart decision. Recovering from that fumble. That's a rare one for the Vipers, and another good thing for them is that they have converted. In fact, it's not a 1st down. It is a 2nd down. And they've gained about 6. 2nd and 6. So 2nd and 4, rather.
Incredibly lucky. They could have lost a few yards then, but the quarterback just then scooping that ball up and just running and showing what she can do. Broke 2 tackles straight away, ran to that boundary line, smart. She didn't need to take the hit. She ran out of bounds, made about 6 yards there. She could have lost about 5 yards. So all in all, that was actually a great save.
2nd and 6 on about the 21. Here at E&D Litis Stadium. And there's a flag. And I think it's determined either a false start or offside.
I believe there are too many people in the backfield, so I believe that one of the offensive linemen were actually a little bit too far behind, and as offensive linemen, you need to be right on the line. That was too many people in the backfield, unfortunately. It's a bit of there was a little bit of mistake. She wasn't sure where she should have been, and unfortunately it's just shown.
And they have accepted the penalty, the Wolverines, so that set them back 5. So it's a 2nd down and about 9 now. But they are still in prime territory, the Vipers, to add another score on the board. 5.5 minutes to go in the game. And another flag being waved.
False start.
Yep, false start indeed.
They're getting a little bit too excited. They're close to the end zone. They're 5 minutes away. They can feel it. They're getting a little bit jittery, a little bit excited, and they're prepared to jump the gun, and unfortunately they jumped the gun a little bit too early there.
And that's twice now that they have conceded 5 yards, so that'll be a 2nd and 14 with this flag as a result of that false start.
Now they're going to focus, settle their nerves. They've been a bit too jittery. Now they need to calm down.
Less than 5 minutes to go. 2nd down and 14 as a result of these 2 penalties. Now they can get going. Gray.
Great reverse.
Great
well
throw.
done.
Beautiful reverse towards the end zone. Goes far and puts the icing on the cake. Touchdown. Vipers. That was in fact Tuula Anesi who received the handoff from Gray. 36-0 for the Vipers. And the dream run continues.
Great run by the Vipers just then. They ran to their right. The entire Wolverines slid to the left to make that defensive stop. Given the inside handoff to a sweeping receiver, created misdirection. She ran to an open end zone.
That misdirection proving effective for the Vipers. They are on the way to completing a game shutout. If they keep this up, less than 4 minutes to go. And they'll attempt to make it 38-0. Gray going for the sneak. It's in. Good. 38-0. The Vipers make it another 2-point conversion, a success. And with 3.5 minutes to go in the game, the Vipers are handing out an absolute demolition job.
Definitely. They've come into this game, don't fix what's not broken, and that's their run game. They have been strong, steady, composed. They're creating when things seemed a bit tough. They always found an open gap.
And now we'll get the kickoff back underway. V. Roberts, shout out to you, V. Thanks for your support watching our game, supporting Mausli Fala, Adelaide Fala, of course. Proud family supporting all the way from beautiful New Plymouth in New Zealand. Got a great place called Pukakera Park over there. This year celebrating 30 years since the Cricket World Cup came to our Tasman shores, and they had a game over there in New Plymouth. Sri Lanka and Zimbabwe, and Sri Lanka chased down about 300 to win by 3 wickets over there.
Some incredible knowledge there. I did not know that.
Well, you do now.
Definitely appreciate it.
Shout out to all of those over in New Plymouth. Beautiful place across the ditch. Nonetheless, back here at E&D Litis Stadium, it is fielded by Carney. Can she go for another magical run? Almost
Slips
brought
one.
down by Anesi. Slipped through one, close to the sideline, but eventually she's brought down by 3 Vipers, and that'll be at around the 50-yard line.
Great run. She was prepared to take the hit, prepared to run through the defender, and that's what she did. She slipped the one. Unfortunately, the Vipers did incredibly well to slide over.
2-minute warning is now on. 2 minutes to go before the end of this match and the beginning of the celebration of the Rockingham Vipers as women's Gridiron West champions for 2021-22. They've deserved their success. They have been the side in the competition, Jared. Experience, as we keep saying, but this is true at the end of the day. Experience is counted on both ends of the ground, both offense and defensive lineups, and they've been rewarded with a championship tonight.
Definitely. I believe this is a three-peat for the Rockingham Vipers.
That is correct, three-peat.
Winning 3 in a row, which is incredible. Incredibly hard to do, but the girls have managed to find a way to do it, and they have formed something incredible.
They've created simply a magic dynasty in West Australian sport, as a timeout has been called with just about a minute and a half to go. Of course, a continuous clock that has been running for 1.5 minutes to go, and a timeout has been called. This will likely be the last offensive drive for the Wolverines in this game. They may have gone down today, but let me tell you, despite the scoreline, and it may not sound flattering, Jared, they have lost no respect, and they'll be back stronger than ever with the players that they've got. This is a lineup that can go to another West Bowl.
Most definitely. These girls have come from a bit of a hard spot in the league where they, again, suffered a couple of big injuries early in their seasons. But now, a bit of experience, a bit of coaching staff to help, have got this team to the West Bowl. And who says they can't do it next year? Who says they can't take it out next year? So, as a West Coast Wolverine, I'd feel positive about where this team is going.
So a minute 30 to go in this game. The Vipers not too far away from completing a marvellous three-peat. Walker, outside throw. The slant created by Dagnaya, but that one is incomplete.
Yep, so Amy Dagnaya has actually gone out of a QB, and she's actually gone as a receiver now. So they've gone back to their old quarterback, and let's see what happens now.
Well, I reckon it's game over, really. You'd ought to go for a QB, Neil. Just chew down the clock, 2nd down and 10.
I feel like the Wolverines have got something to play for, so if they can try and get one score, they'll be definitely excited and happy about that.
Walker again going for the outside throw. Almost picked off there by Williams. Out at defensive back, but that one also incomplete.
Incredibly lucky that ball did fall safely onto the ground. It come off a shoulder pad and the ball pinged straight up. If the receiver happened to keep her eye on that ball, she could have jumped on that straight away.
This will likely be the last play of this game. It is 3rd down and 10. Walker, long throw on the outside, intended for Kalepo, but to no avail. Incomplete, and that'll be a 3 and out for the Wolves.
They'll definitely go for this.
They've
got nothing to lose.
Yep, time's running out. And they're calling for one more timeout.
The Wolverines are definitely trying to score here, and they don't want to be shut out in a West Bowl, so taking out one score at least, that is a positive for them. So good luck, girls. Let's see what they can do.
Yeah, the Rockingham coach still making the moves, but no doubt will be absolutely ecstatic when the clock strikes 0 and the Vipers celebrating a magnificent three-peat. The Wolverines, they won't be too despondent. They'll be satisfied in at least getting to a West Bowl, and they've got the personnel and the talent to make it another one. And if it's up against the Rockingham side again in 2022-23, I reckon the Wolverines will have learnt a little bit more, and they'll go into that into next year's West Bowl, if they make it and Rockingham make it, knowing a little bit more of what Rockingham can bring and what the Wolverines can do to shut them down should they meet in 2023 at this ground. So it's a 4th down and 10. They had a 3 and out. Dagnaya decided to throw that one away, incomplete.
And turnover on downs.
That defence has been nothing short of brilliant for the Vipers.
That is game.
That's it! The three-peat has been completed. Rockingham, for the 3rd time in a row, are Women's Gridiron West champions, and a well-deserved victory it was.
Well done by the Rockingham Vipers. They've been there all season on top of the ladder, and unfortunate for the Wolverines facing such a strong team in the West Bowl. They'll be a little bit disappointed in this loss because they feel like they had their chances and they feel like this was their time to shine as the team. Next year, West Coast Wolverines will come in again with a bit of taste in their mouth because of this game. they'll come out for a bit of revenge. So good luck to those girls next season.
The loss should not deflate the Wolverines whatsoever. At least they know the experience now of what it's like to be in a game like this. For the Vipers, well, they've experienced the thrill of victory now 3 times in a row, and they'll next year be going for a rare quartet of championships. And the Vipers, deservedly so, they deserve to be called the best team in the competition. They've set the standard for women's Gridiron West football. They've got the professional talent. They've got players with plenty of experience, domestic and international, and it is reflected in their triumph today. Jared, it has been the year of the Viper once again, and the title going south of the river. No doubt they'll be celebrating over there in Rockingham.
Definitely. It's a big team down at Rockingham Vipers, so having the juniors down there and the men's will be back soon. They're going to be celebrating hard, and as you can see, some of the families run on the field. Someone's running on the field with their kid in their arms now.
Yeah, that's Tracy Daniels now running onto the field with her kid there. Isn't it fantastic?
Yes, and it's very a family-orientated team. A lot of these players do have kids, or they're actually just, you know, having their family on older siblings or aunties and uncles around them. And as you can see, there's a lot of people in that huddle right now, and a lot of them would be incredibly happy for them.
Absolutely. In fact, all the city of Rockingham, for that matter, will be happy for them, and deservedly so. So we're not far away from going into the presentations for the trophy, and then right after that we'll likely wrap it up for our women's game before we head over to the men's here at E&D Litis Stadium. Of course, the men's between Swan City and Curtin, first versus second. And no doubt that one will be an absolute belt-up. But here at E&D Litis Stadium in the women's game, it is 3 in a row for the mighty ladies from Rockingham, 38-0 over the West Coast Wolverines. It was a literal clean sheet for Rockingham in 2022. And make no mistake about it, they made every chance count from offence to defence. Adelaide Fowler was impressive. Tuvale Fowler was impressive. We're going to go to a break, and when we do come back, we'll have the presentations, and then we're going to lead it right into the men's game a little later on between Swan City and Curtin. It is Rockingham, 38-0, third women's championship in a row.
At CD Dodd, we recycle metal. So we recycled some 90s metal musicians to create our new jingle. cddodd.com.au.
Welcome back to E&D Litis Stadium. Just joining us for the first time is Rockingham. They've taken out their third consecutive Women's West Bowl Championship. They did it the easy way against the West Coast Wolverines, 38-0. And we're not too far away as well from the men's game commencing as well, with the Swan City Titans taking on the Curtin Saints. Paul Persick and Jared Bennett's with you in the commentary box. Jared, the women's game, well, we expected a close one, especially with the experience of Rockingham and the underdog determination of West Coast. We didn't get that today, but not to take away from the experience and the ruthless aggression that Rockingham possessed today.
For sure. Rockingham Vipers come in today with cool, calm, collect, they were prepared to take this game on and control it from the very start, and that's what they did. Very first play, touchdown. Very next offensive series, touchdown. Defensively, they were on the field. Within 3 plays, they were back on the sideline having a breather. So, all due to Rockingham Vipers. They played an incredible game from the get-go, and unfortunately, second West Coast Wolverines. This is a lesson to learn, girls, and I believe that this is the next time that the girls will be back. There'll be another time, and I'm hoping that it's very, very soon, hopefully next year, and I hope to be barracking for them again and being on the winning side of this commentary team.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. The Vipers, they did a magnificent job in holding down the Wolverines today. They pretty much did the basics right, didn't they? On the offensive side, they got that running game going and never really tried to break from it. You know, like you said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They never broke from that formula. The Wolverines, they just couldn't get anything going. They didn't take the risks that Rockingham did all throughout that first half, which was really what made the game for Rockingham and broke the game for the Wolverines in turn. Yeah,
so defensively, the Vipers were great. They pressured, they did the basics very, very well, and when you do the basics incredibly well, you don't really need to try and do too much. Offensively, the West Coast Wolverines, they couldn't get much going because of all the pressure that was coming in. The quarterback was having to throw on the back foot, running backs were having to basically fight people away to make some space. When they did find that space, but when unfortunately it was few from many.
Few and far between those opportunities for the West Coast Wolverines. If you're looking at players like, of course, number 4, Dacia Walker, and also Kami as well, who was able to, who couldn't really make those opportunities count. And also the Jones combination, they were very quiet as well, and they couldn't have an effective contribution as they would have liked.
No, so again, it comes down to the defensive pressure of the Vipers, and they did incredibly well to lock down the stars of the Wolverines. Basic fundamental football is usually good football, and that's what they played today, offensively and defensively.
Well, they're about to go into the presentations, but we'll wrap it up here for the moment as Rockingham are about to celebrate their 3rd consecutive triumph. We'll be doing the presentations. We'll be staying with you for the moment as the Rockingham players prepare to receive the trophy for the 3rd consecutive year. And make no mistake about it, I reckon this one will be just as sweeter considering how they controlled the game from the outset, Jared.
Definitely. I feel like these girls have earned that from the get-go. And 3 in a row is pretty huge and pretty exciting, but you can never get enough of winning, so these girls are excited. You know, winning 3 in a row is tough, let alone winning 1 is really tough. You know, you've got to go through absolutely everything to go and win a championship, but to win 3, it's a testament to not only the playing squad of the Rockingham side, but also the coaching staff from the Rockingham side, and also the volunteers and the support staff as well that make the club's success possible. Yeah, so it goes back to the roots of the game. People got to want to play this game, and that's what they did. They found the love and the passion for the game. They've got jobs, they've got families. They don't just play football, and having to come out here.
Congratulate both teams.
Let's go to the presentations.
The ladies' league is by far the toughest and most competitive league we've got in Gridiron, Australia, really. Congratulations to the Wolverines. First time you've been here in the West Bowl. A great achievement in the tough league. And what can I say? Vipers twice in a row. Bang, bang. Congratulations. And like I said before, I thought this was fantastic. We have family against family in many ways. Sisters, cousins, who knows, aunties, everybody was here. So first of all, I want to bring up the coaches, the winning coach. If we could say a couple words. And Ben, if you'd come up and say a couple words also, please.
Okay, I hadn't planned this, Bob, so thanks for that, throwing me into this. To my girls, Wolverines, we certainly didn't expect to be standing here on the final day of the season. Pre-season, we planned to Just get everyone back that we had last season, get a team on the park. And registrations, I know, is always tough at the start of the season. We've got a team on the park. We started strong and challenged all season long. We didn't expect to make it here, so we exceeded our own expectations to start with. Huge game against the Broncos, which we're super proud of. Today, not our best performance on the park, but we know what now it takes to be champions. So next year we'll be back. Vipers, you're a hell of a team, back to back. So congratulations on the win, well done. And yeah, just the better side on the day. So you guys are a really, really strong unit. We can see that. And we know we'll probably be back, hopefully back against you guys in the finals next year. So appreciate you guys. And just lastly, to friends and families, everyone watching back at home, here at the ground as well, appreciate the support. And yeah, we look forward to next season. We'll see you guys here back again. Appreciate it.
Thank you. First of all, I want to thank GW, Gridiron West, for putting this together. I know it's been a hectic year and a few hurdles along the way, but we got there. We managed to get here. To our officials, thank you very much, Bob. Thank you very much. Great job this year. Yeah, hopefully we see you again on the sideline again next year, and more interviews on TV. To our supporters that are out there watching from back home as well, thank you very much. Without you guys here, we wouldn't be able to hold this and this great day. To the Wolves, hey, thank you very much. Right, 100%. Right, you guys are the most physical team we've played this year by far. Right, and we were expecting to see you guys here today. Right, keep your head up. Thank you very much. And hopefully we see you guys out here again next year. To my assistant coach, Proudy, to my coach, Proudy, thank you for putting up with us. Right, without your work on the defensive side of things, we wouldn't be where we are today. To my girls, right, we set a plan at the beginning of the year that we will be here again, and look at it, we're here, right? We worked on our basics and fundamentals, right? And we worked them to death. Thank you for your effort, right? We made it, right? To our rookies, right, keep your head up. First year playing, thank you very much. To our mothers of the team, thank you very much, right? Even as coaches know, when we hear voice at training, we're even in trouble, right? So thank you guys very much. Thank you everybody for being here. Much love to all you guys. Thank you, Bob.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
I'll take that. Here, this is here's your trophy, Coach Gio. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
For the first time in Gridiron West, we have best and fairest, kind of like the AFL best and fairest. This is a vote by the referees during the whole season. We voted 3-2-1 for the best and fairest in the women's league, the ladies' league, of the one that was the nicest on the ground, that were more the polite, help each other up, a great athlete, to somebody that embodied what gridiron here in West Australia means. And after the entire season, 15 rounds, we had a tie between two ladies. First one I'll bring up, Adelaide.
Well deserved for Adelaide Farmer, not only throughout the season, but an incredible West Bowl performance.
Turn around and get a picture. And the lady that tied her, Laura St. Ruth.
Thank you.
Very worthy, wow. Very worthwhile. Congratulations. Here, come here. Get a picture.
Thanks, Bob.
There you go.
So there you go, those are the presentations done. Don't forget, coming up later, it's the men's game between Swan City and Kirk.